What's up, guys and girls, fellow YouTubers? Today, what I got for you is I'm going to show you how to diagnose a head gasket with no tools, all right? With no special tools. Usually, the way I diagnose, come here real quick. Usually the way I diagnose a head gasket is I use this right here, my homemade cylinder leak down tester, or I use the compression tester. Today, I'm not using that, okay? But today I'm going to show you how to do an old school trick. All right, this is old school, man, really old school, on how to see if you have a blown head gasket. This car has a blown head gasket. I haven't even diagnosed it yet at all. Okay, so I'm doing everything fresh. I just pulled the spark plugs out and I filled this up with water right here. Okay, the radiator. Okay, this may work for your car, it may not work. It depends on your head gasket. These are head gaskets, okay? All right? It depends on if your head gasket is blown here just a little bit, this might not work. But if it's blown a little more to where it leaks out the edge of this, you got the cylinder head, this here, right? You got the engine block down here, okay? You got clamping force, okay, from the cylinder head bolts, clamping down like that. Sometimes it blows in between here, going from cylinder to cylinder. Sometimes it blows out here. You can see the leak sometime, leaking out. Sometimes you can see tiny little water leaking out the edge. Or sometimes it blows into the coolant passages, okay, mixing with the oil. And in this case, we have oil mixed in with water. That's the mayonnaise look that I tell you guys about. Some people don't think that you can tell if you have a blown head gasket by this, but you can. I do understand that some cars have condensation in the oil, and this will happen. But in this case, we have a blown head gasket. When I start the car, it sounds horrible. It runs rough and everything, okay? But in this case, we definitely have a blown head gasket, and that's one of the ways of telling. It's not a for sure thing, but you can tell sometimes with this, because some cars have moisture in the oil, and that's just nothing you can do about that. That's how some cars are. So, get that, move on to this. These are coolant passage ports, okay? If we have a leak going from this part, from the compression into the coolant passage port, we are gonna know, okay? How are we gonna know? What I did is I pulled out all 4 spark plugs. I'm gonna put number 1 back in, okay? If number 1, when we crank the engine, and if number 1 is leaking, if we have a small leak or whatever inside the cylinder head gasket, it's gonna show right here. We're gonna see bubbles, okay? And why does that happen? Because on the compression stroke, the upward stroke, you have a tremendous amount of pressure forced upwards through the piston. The piston compresses all the air to a small displacement in the top of the cylinder head, okay? It compresses all that air. And then the spark plug ignites the air in the fuel and creates the power stroke. See, there's an intake, compression, power, exhaust stroke, okay? We are going to get the information from the compression stroke, okay? So the compression stroke is going to tell us if we have a big enough leak to where it will leak into the coolant passage, come up through the system, and create bubbles. We're going to crank it. We're going to disable the ignition and the fuel system. Make sure you disable the ignition system and the fuel system by disconnecting the fuses, okay? Fuel pump fuse and ignition fuse. Now, I have all the spark plugs out, like I told you, okay? We're gonna put this one back in. This is number 1. Then we're gonna crank the engine, okay? Always use something like this to get the spark plugs back in. That way you don't strip the cylinder threads. Okay, now, we got that in right there, okay? Number 1 spark plug is the only one that's in right now. We're gonna crank it and then see if we got bubbles coming out of here, okay? That's the trick here. Make sure you wear safety glasses when you do this stuff, all right? Okay, spark plug number 1 and cylinder number 1, okay? No spark plug there, number 2, none in number 3, none in number 4. Look at that water down there. Can you see that water? Definitely got water in that one right there. Okay, no water there, water there. So number 3 has water in it, okay? But we're diagnosing right now. I don't know anything about this car. Okay, so spark plug number 1. Okay, go ahead, crank it. Let's watch this here. Okay, no bubbles. Okay, we're good there. Number 1 is sealed. There's no bubbles, okay? We didn't see any bubbles come out of that number 1, all right? So let's move on to number 2, okay? Let's take number 1 out and put the other one in number 2, okay? All right. Put that one in there. Okay, now let's crank it and see what's up with number 2. Okay, go ahead, crank it. Make sure the water stays filled up. Put it all the way to the top. Okay?
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, crank. So we only have number 2 cylinder. Number 2. There we go, right there. Look at that. You see that? Okay, turn it off. Do it one more time. Go ahead. Did you see that at the beginning? How it just shot out? Okay, we might have a small leak in number 2. Okay, go ahead. Turn it off. So let's go to number 3. So let's seal up number 3. That one's sealed up right there. And let's crank it up. Go for it, crank it. Got the radiator filled up. She's gonna crank it right now. And let's see what happens. Number 3 is the one that had water, so I'm thinking that one might be leaking. We'll see right now.
Ready?
Go ahead. Look at that. Right there, blown head gasket. That's it right there. We got a blown head gasket in number 3. Okay, let's fill it up one more time and do it again. Go ahead, crank it. That's how you tell if you have a blown head gasket, old school style. Look at that. So now you guys know how to diagnose your stuff, okay? Each time it squirts out, that's the compression stroke. Okay? Okay, let's pull number 3 out now. Look at that, that's wet. That is water right there. You should never have a wet spark plug. See that right there? Okay, this should be completely dry. These plugs are bad too. They're old. Anyways, there you go right there. That's a blown head gasket. Number 3 is blown. Let me see, this is not for this engine, but this is how the head gasket would be. Somewhere along this here, we have leak going into one of the coolant passages like I was telling you. Okay, and that's what's going down right now. Now we're doing number 4. Okay. Okay, go ahead, crank it. Look at that, number 4 too. That's why it was running so bad. So, this test here is a clear indication of a blown head gasket. Straight up, with no tools at all. Right there. Okay, that's it. That's it, man. That's how you check to see if you have a blown head gasket. Just water and remove your spark plugs and do them one at a time. So cylinder number 3 and 4 were very bad, okay? Number 2 is that one kind of acted up at first, but it slowed down after a while. So that might have a slow leak, all right? Which might be in the center right here, right there. But all I know is this head gasket is blown, straight up. Another way to tell if you have a blown head gasket, this isn't a for sure thing though. You will have misfires because of that water that's inside of the cylinders right now. Too much water, we're getting a random multiple cylinder misfire detected, okay? Look at that, that's definitely misfire right there, okay? So that's one of the codes that we have here. It doesn't necessarily mean that your head gasket is blown all the time, but that's what you get whenever you got water leaking in the cylinders, okay? You got water leaking in that one and that one really bad. Maybe a little bit in that one too. I don't know about that one, but we know 3 and 4 are really bad. And that tells us something right there. Look at that, it's about to cut out. Okay, we just took the valve cover off. Look at this. All that white mayonnaise slush, that's water inside the oil. Clear indication of a blown head gasket, or it could be a cracked cylinder head or a cracked block. So it could be either one. But anyways, this is sludge right here. Big time. Oil doesn't look like that. Now let's take the head bolts off. This is a dead blow hammer, which is perfect for breaking this free. All right, I already busted it loose, but I'm gonna show you how it works. Okay, there's lead pellets in here, and it actually breaks loose the head. Okay, you gotta hit it for a little bit, but it actually really works very well. This thing, better than my sludge hammer and anything else. Okay, so now we know that's loose. So you just verify it by pulling up on this with a bar, pry bar, just like that. And we're actually good. Okay, so now the cylinder head is ready to come up. Okay, now we can pull it off. Okay. So, ooh, look at all that water in there. Man, show them that. Big time. Look how much water we got in these cylinders. That is bad, big time, man. Look at all that. That is what you call a major blown head gasket right there. I've seen this before many other times, and that's just major. That's why the car was running so rough, and we had multiple misfires on that code I just showed you. So that's it right there. This is the head gasket, and sometimes you can't tell where they blew out, but you can see a lot of the material is missing. The sealing material, big time. Okay, so is this factory? I don't know if this is factory. I don't think it is. Okay, so where did it blow out though? See, I don't know. That's the question. But when we crank the engine and on the compression stroke, this compression from these two cylinders, we're definitely forcing pressure through the coolant passages. I don't know which ones. This one, that one, that one, that one. I don't know. Did it leak this way, that way, that way, that way? I don't know. I can't even tell. But that is how you diagnose a blown head gasket the old school way. That's how you do it, and that's how it's done. Straight up. So no doubt about it, that test proves that you can diagnose a blown head gasket without any specialized tools. Okay, and that's what the deal is right there. Let's look at the head now. Let's look at this head. Okay, now I'm looking down here. See, I see a lot of the material still stuck there. Let me see which one is which. Okay, this is cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4 were the ones that were leaking bad. Okay, see, I can't even really tell. You can't tell sometimes where it's leaking from. But we know this is a clear indication by all this water in there. That's a clear indication of a blown head gasket, definitely. So just beam up on this, and we're gonna give you a close-up. Take a look at it and just see what you think about it. Tell me what you think. Let me know where it blew out at. You tell me. Because to this very day, sometimes I can't tell where it blew out at. Okay? Did it leak this way, straight through this? See, there's no material there. Did it go that way? Did it go that way? See, can't really tell. Did it go out this way? I don't know where it came out of, but we're gonna handle it, okay? If your car overheats, it can cause your cylinder head or your block to warp, okay? For instance, this here, this is a cylinder head up here. These are the cylinder head chambers right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that engine block right there is warped more than, it depends. There's certain specs for certain cars. If it's warped more than 0.02 of an inch, for most vehicles, you can have leakage seeping through here, through the head gasket, into the coolant ports like we've seen earlier, okay? Same thing with down here. If your cylinder head has warpage like this, more than 0.02 of an inch, for most cars, some are less. Remember that, some cars are less than 0.02 of an inch for allowable tolerance for the warpage of a cylinder head or a block. Sooner or later, pretty soon it's gonna leak. So this is how you check a cylinder head for warpage. I got a 0.02 of an inch filler gauge, okay? I'm gonna put this filler gauge flat like that. I'm not pressing down, I'm just sitting it down. Go to the edge like that. You're checking for warpage. See that right there? Slips under a little bit, barely touching it. Okay? Right there's not so bad. Slips under, but not that bad at all. Okay? Now you go at an angle on this way. Go on this side, you got a little bit of warpage here. But at the same time, I gotta clean this surface some more. I just wanna show you how to check this stuff. Okay? So we check here. But keep in mind, you gotta clean the surface first before you do all this. Because you might be up on a piece of material here, the gasket material. So I'm going here, checking here. All right, this ain't that bad. Okay, this is 0.02 of an inch. So now we go to the center. All right, make sure you go end to end. Not bad at all. Not bad, goes through a little bit, Not bad. So what that's telling me is this cylinder head is not that warped. Okay, you also check it this way like that. So whenever you take a cylinder head off, you want to make sure that that thing is perfectly flat, a true flatness, okay? And the block. I like that. I like that. This one wants to go under barely. Okay, that one too. Now let's go right here. Okay. Good. Good. Look at that, man. That is good right there. That's good to go though right there, man. Look at that. Okay, I still got to sand a little bit more. Okay, we got the block sanded down and everything is flat. Okay, the block is flat and it's true, and this cylinder head is flat and it's true. Okay, now let's put the head on. Okay, what we have here is marks down there. I'll show you in a little bit. She has marks that she's looking at. We have arrows down there where she's gonna line up everything. Just make sure everything's cleared, the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold, so you can put things on with ease.
Okay, this side feels like it dropped, and so does that side.
Okay.
So they're both on the dock.
When you do this stuff, take your cylinder head to the shop, and what you want to do is you want to tell them, okay, do a pressure test, resurface the head, and grind the valves. Those are the three most important things you want to do when you take your cylinder head off your vehicle and you want to put it back on. Remember, when you crank the engine, the compression stroke will force air up through the broken cylinder head, the busted, blown out cylinder head, whatever. Okay? Then all the pressure will come through the coolant system, up through there, or down through the bottom lower radiator hose, up through the radiator and show bubbles. Remember, before we changed the head gasket, this was just gushing out each time the compression stroke was occurring during the cranking. Okay, it was gushing out. So now watch it. Okay, go ahead, start it. Turn it off. Okay, go ahead, start it. Okay, there we go right there. That initial squirt was the water pump. Okay? But look here, we have no more cylinder leakage in number 3, 4, or at all, okay? And that's good right there. That's good to go. Okay? That's how you go old school on this stuff. It's that simple. And if you suspect a blown head gasket, attack it, man. You don't even really need to take the plugs out, man. The reason why I took the plugs out is because I wanted to pinpoint exactly which cylinders had leakage in them. Okay? And that's a clear case on how to do it. Okay? That's simple. Look at that. Good to go. This car, head gasket, defeated, handled. Go get it now. I want to talk about the heart. Okay? Some of you guys talk crazy. I'm not gonna waste too much time on that haterism, because I ain't into that. I don't get down like that. And I don't get down like that. Some of you call me a nigger. Straight up. Some of you are very disrespectful. Some of you have no integrity, man. Straight up. Some of you are just full of hate in your heart, man. That's sad, man. It doesn't even faze me. It just makes me sad for you. But you know what also? Those of you who call me a nigger, I'm here for you. I mean that from the heart, man. I mean that from my heart. I used to be full of hate like that, man. Big time. I grew up with a bunch of brothers who used to tell me stuff like, yeah, white man this, blue-eyed devils, white bread, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Man. I don't get down like that no more. Them days, long gone. Some of you guys are still on that level, man. Still playing games, man. That's childish. But the sad thing about it is that your heart, man, your heart is defiled. God never intended for you to be like that. And you know that. God never made you. When God made you, he didn't make you with hate in your heart. You created that in your own heart. You formed those belief systems that tell you that every black man is a no good person. Every Mexican guy is no good and they're over here just taking jobs. Every white guy is just white trailer trash. You formed those beliefs in your head. You created that. Goop, honky, beaner, wetback, sand nigger, spit. All that racism, man. Kill that noise, man. Kill all that noise. God didn't make you to be like that. You have defiled your heart. You have put stuff in your heart that has corrupted it, that has defiled it and caused it to be like that. Just because you don't know about somebody and their culture and the way they live, don't mean that you count them out. Don't mean that you put them down. Don't mean that you look down on them. Absolutely not. Some of you, you're teaching your kids that junk. That is pure poison, man. Because if you're teaching your kids that stuff or anybody else around you, you're in trouble, man. You are gonna continuously reap what you sow. You are planting bad seeds in people's hearts. You are planting something that is horribly wrong, and you know it. Do not let that racism eat you alive. Don't let it take you out. That's one of the #1 reasons why people don't get along. Because of people with hearts that are defiled, and they go against everything that God has created that's outside the will of God. So if your heart is full of filth, that racist filth, get rid of that junk. That's no good, man. It's gonna break you down. It's gonna eat you alive, and it is gonna tear you up from the inside out, straight up. Racism has no place, man. It has no place at all. Yes, it's still here. I still go through it with the police. I still get pulled over, but it don't faze me, man. It don't move me. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, it used to move me, but today, it doesn't move me at all. I used to hate the police because they always harassed me, man. But today, nah, nothing like that. I ain't nothing like that. Today, I'm not against the law. I'm a law-abiding citizen now. I don't live a defiled life. I don't live corrupt like that because of the grace of Jesus Christ. He freed me from all that, man. All that racism, all that anger I used to have. Yeah, I was full of anger, like I told you guys before. Like if you called me a nigger 3 years ago, beyond that, I would have tried to hunt you down. If you was in San Diego, I would have told you. If you was where I'm at, if you were in my area, I would have told you where you want to meet at. Let's handle this. Straight up. We can go toe to toe, straight up right now, handle it. But I'm not like that no more, man. Nuh-uh. Even those of you who call me a nigger, I still got love for you. Because Jesus Christ loved me, loves us. And that's not what it's about. It ain't about hate, man. How much you can put somebody down. So get rid of that junk that's clouding your heart, man, full of hate. Kill that noise, man. Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Matthew 15:19. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornication, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. This is for you atheists. Psalms 14:1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. There you go right there. There's more about the heart in the Bible. But you understand how it works? God has certain statutes, limitations, and parameters that you got to be operating in. If you're outside of those parameters, you're outside of his will. Okay? Just like a map sensor, just like a coolant temperature sensor, just like a mass airflow sensor. There are parameters. If you are outside of those parameters, if you stay within that and within the will of God, you'll be all right. But if you start going outside of the parameters, whether it's up or down, you're gonna be off track, man. And your heart ain't gonna be right. So that's why it's important for you to know that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins. So you can know all this, so you can learn this stuff, man. I didn't just know. I wasn't born knowing this stuff, man. I was way outside those parameters, man. I was up here tearing people up. I was out there tap dancing for the devil, man. I was knocking people out left and right, man. But my heart ain't like that no more. Because that's what I was taught. That's who I grew up with. That's what I was taught. That's what I was conditioned to. My heart was foul, it was wrong, it was defiled. Because I let it. That's why I'm telling you, if your heart is full of racism, man, you don't have to be like that. I'm still here for you, man. You ain't gonna get me to hate you. And I will not post nothing crazy towards you. I won't. Because I'm not like that. You don't need to be like that, man. Have integrity, man. Know that Jesus Christ loves you, died on the cross for you. It does not want you thinking like that. So in Jesus' mighty, holy name, stay committed to Christ. All you writers who put it down for God Almighty. If you don't know the Lord, get your heart right with Jesus Christ. Repent and be baptized, Acts 2:38, for the remission of your sins. Every one of you, not some of you, every single one of you. And ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. That's what it is. That's what you gotta do. If your heart ain't right, if you're feeling empty, void, full of anxiety, full of hate, if your heart is heavy laden, God says, come to me, all ye that labor and that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's God Almighty, man. But that's it though. In Jesus' mighty, holy name. Keep on smashing in life. Don't ever give up. Don't ever back down for nothing. All right? Stay bold, stay courageous. Get close to God, smash on it.